gonna learn about changing states. I think you know what is changing states, right? Like water when solid ice cube heats up, turn to water, or water heats up, turn to gas, and when gas condensing, then they turn back into liquid, and when liquid freeze, they turn back into solid. They can change every state. Change this into this, and then to this, or this, to this, and this. Kind of cool, huh? And today I want to teach more about it. Most materials can change between being solid, liquid, or gas, depending on their temperatures and how tightly packed they are. Substances such as water can change from one state to another one and then back again. Like water, when they heat it up, they can turn into liquids. And when they cool down, they turn into solid. I mean cold. Cool is kind of a cool wind flew at you, so you do not feeling really cold or really hot. You just kind of cool up, like you're not really cool with sunglasses and cool hair. Not like that. And here I'm gonna teach you about solid first. And do you see with tiny circles? And not those tiny circles in the ice cube. They're particles. Those particles are so tiny you cannot see it. But I just made it big up so you can see those particles. When it is solid, the particles solid keeps their shape like an ice. You can carve a shape like a round shape or like this cube shape. Their shape, but their particles are very close together. If those solid is kind of like flat and square, those particles are also flat, but they're still round, like a sphere. But they're kind of flat, and they do square, though. Kind of like this ruler. This ruler got particles too, where it is flat, and then it is straight up. So that means its particles. Just imagine those tiny particles is in there. You can see it. Just imagine it. It do got particles, but they're too tiny for you to see. Really tiny. It keeps their shape. So they're really close together, like those particles are drawing these cubes. This cube. Now you see it? Okay, this needs to be closer a bit. I wish you can zoom this up. The next state is liquid. Liquid. Material flow when it is in a liquid state. Particles are closest, but they move past each other. Now you know it? Those particles didn't keep their shape like this. But when you want to know why, try to pour water in each different container with different shapes. When it is a tall container, the water didn't keep its shape like a cube. And water changes its shape just like fit snugly in the container when you pour each kind the water in each kind of shapes container. Now you know it. Those like your okay. Choose putting something sphere in it like marbles and pretend it is the particles of it. And then try to mix it and mix it. Do you see the particles moving around? And when you really want to know it, you can use a microscope if you can see it. If not, never mind. Just imagine the particles flowing around and move each other, but are still close. And you see, in each kind of water, it do not just got some of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not just 7 particles in this. It got thousands and billions of them. When it's in the sea, it is even more than billion. You cannot count all of them because they're too much. 1 drop of water can be a lot of particles because they're really tiny. You cannot see it. And here, the last state we're going to learn is the gas state. The gas state. The particles are moved in every direction and they are really far apart. You cannot see air, right? But you are in the air because air is moving around you. Air is everywhere, not in space. If particles cannot keep in a shape because they're not in a container like this. So it's not floating around and moving in different direction, and it is not close together super far. And sometimes if you use the microscope, you can only see the air's got just some of the particles because they're too far away. But actually you cannot catch any air but put it in there. You cannot touch it. You cannot even see it. Just smell it. Sometimes you smell it. Now you know it. It's gonna move every direction. Okay, let's go back and make sure if you remember it. Please don't forget your pen and your notebook. Okay? But the solid keeps their shape and the particles also be just like this cube shape. And they're really close together. And the liquid state was the materials will flow when it was a liquid state. Particles are close together, but they're moving past each other. Don't worry, they're still close together. And at the gas state, the particles are moving in every direction, like up, down, left, right, or even forth and behind, and even more kind of direction. I cannot say even more, a lot of them. It can be straight, this, or it can be kind of like this. I do not really know what is it called. Now you all know it? Okay, let's see some more kind of them, like melting, solidifying, and vaporating, and condensing. I think you need to learn 3 of those words, but this word, melting. It is too easy, melting. Too easy. But my hardest word was this one. So if I kind of hard. Okay, let's learn what it was. But first is melting. When something is cold, like an ice cream or an ice cube, but when it's in a warm or cold place, or cold or warm or hot habitat like in the desert, will soon melt up into liquid. Like as I said, those, when we're hotter and hotter, we're going to turn to this liquid state. If you want to see if it's true, try it. Put an ice in a microwave and then put it in some seconds, and then after you take it out, what you see is only liquid and not an ice anymore. Now you know it? It's gonna be melting. Like in this picture as I draw. An ice cream is melting down because it is too hot. And the next one is solidifying. When something is hot and it's kind of liquid like lava, but it will turn to solid rock when the air is cool. Haven't you know it? When if you want to really know it is, you can kind of like type in Google so you could know more about it. The lava, you know about the lavas. Like sometime when you meet the lava, you need to, like in Hawaii, volcanoes, you can find Hawaii, well, like the Volcano National Park. When you saw it, it will be slowly dripping down the lava, and as you see, the lava is flowing down, but the wind is keeping so cold, and it's keeping blowing, and then you will see the lava is turning fastly into solid rock, and you come a little bit closer because it starts to be safer, but you still need to be careful when you experiment it. It might burn your hand if a rock haven't been cool into solid rock completely yet. If it all completely, after some few minutes, try using a stick and then try to tapping on it. You will kind of hear it like this. Kind of like, and not really like that because it's only wood. Try tapping on it. If it is completely turned to solid rock. If it's not, you need to wait more until it cools down. Or it will be more faster if it's dripping into water. You know, some lava even use the lava to make an island, real island, because it started to be flowing around. It made more space, and then it cools down to solid that you can walk on. Now you know it? But next is evaporating. I always hear this word, evaporating, and a water cycle. When water is hot, they start to evaporating up because they start to turn to gas. Try boiling some water. You will see some gas will flowing up, and then when it is, but I do not think it's gonna turn to a cloud. It only gas. But if it but in a water cycle, when it turns to gas, these tiny particles is really light. So they flew into the air. When they meet each other, we start to turn, making it bigger into a cloud. And I got this, and you really need to remember it. A cloud is not a solid. Even when you see it perfectly white, and you think it kind of like cotton candy, it's kind of solid though, but it's too soft. Kind of like cotton candy, but it's not cotton candy. It is not a solid. No, it is a gas. Because this kind of thing, it got some color in it. I do not really know why, though, but it turned to a cloud. So that's evaporating. Water turned to gas. Remember it. And the next kind is condensing. Condensing is when gas turned back into water. It's called condensing. Kind of like trying some kind of things. When the gas is hot and it stick on the wall or somewhere or on the glass and try to touch it, you will see it is wet because gas, it is kind of like it's got some liquid in it and it's condensing back into water. Now you know it? I think you know it. And I got this thing that I always wondered. After the cloud makes rain back to the sea, does that cloud disappear? If you know, type in a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye everyone. See you next time.